it's necessary for us to begin to look at the future and know that it's possible that we can have our dream. Yes, it is. Other people have done it, then we can do it. We fail a lot of times. Well, a lot of other folks failed, and eventually they came back and they succeeded. So it's possible.
And the mom in me goes wild. The boy, the young man in this video is my son, Garrison. Garrison's 16 years old, and we are so proud of him. Garrison is on a major league regulation field, hitting with a regulation wood bat. We are so proud of Garrison, Sean and I. Garrison this summer was evaluated as a potential Division I college recruit. Woo! Yeah, gee! But before I go any further with Garrison's story, I'd like you guys to participate in an exercise with me. If you would all close or cover your left eye. Now, if you would turn your head to the right, turn your head to the left. Now imagine a baseball coming at you to 80, 90 miles an hour, and you're gonna hit it. That's how Garrison plays baseball. That's how Garrison physically views the world. That's pretty amazing. It brings a new meaning to keeping your eye on the ball, right? I'm like, stop turning your head. Keep your eye on the ball. Garrison was born with morning glory optic nerve disorder. Essentially, where all our optic nerves generally grow like this, his grew like this, rendering him blind in his left eye. And with that diagnosis came all these couldn't, wouldn't, and shouldn'ts. It was devastating to us as parents. We couldn't believe how many limitations were placed on Garrison, and his life had just begun. Our hearts sank. And then one day, we were in a specialist's office, and he came back with the same diagnosis and the same couldn't, wouldn't, and shouldn'ts. But what he was about to say changed everything about how we felt about his condition. He said, Miss Armstrong, let me tell you what we didn't see. We didn't see any indication of brain damage. And oftentimes with Garrison's condition, children with Garrison's condition or similar conditions, brain damage is almost always present. And I thought, how blessed are we? How lucky is he? And I scooped up my baby, and I said a prayer for all the other mothers who didn't receive that same great news. So my husband and I, we carefully considered all the couldn't, wouldn't, and shouldn'ts, and we decided not to face his life like that. We decided to face his life with all the things he could do, and he will be able to do, and he can do. And Garrison was gonna have a say-so in that. He's a teenager, might regret that now. But so Team Armstrong, we set out on our journey of Ken. So what can Garrison do? As you know, Garrison plays baseball. Garrison started playing baseball at 3 years old, and he was good. He could catch, he could throw, he could hit. He was really good. Well, as you know, Garrison's 16 years old now, and he can do most things most other children can do with some extra precaution. In fact, 2 months ago, Garrison got his driver's license, and I haven't seen him since. I'm just kidding. I see him today. He's here today with my husband, Sean, to support his mom. Well, that's what I would like to think, but I'm pretty sure it's because he got a get out of school free card today. He was excited. He was like, what time is it? Yes. I was like, really, G, come on now. So Garrison's journey has been filled with a lot of successes in life and baseball so far, but it hasn't been one without challenges and struggles. He's faced adversity and as well as biases. See, Garrison's condition as he got older caused his eye to start turning inward. You don't see it here because he recently had some aesthetic surgery to kind of correct that. And the first time he ever knew and found out that he was really different, not just that he couldn't see out of his left eye, but he looked different, was in kindergarten. One day he came home from school and this little baby was really sad. And I said, Garrison, what's wrong? And he just says, oh, Mom, the kids were making fun of me today. And I said, well, buddy, why were they making fun of you? I mean, come on, guys, I had to ask to make sure. And he said, Mom, because my eye is crooked. Oh, he was pissed. And I laughed too for a second. And then I got mad for a second. And then I thought, oh, I have a learning, this is a learning opportunity. I could use this for Garrison. And to face this challenge and this bias with education and understanding. So I turned to him, I said, oh, buddy, it's okay. The other kids just don't know you. They don't know what a great baseball player you are, and they don't know what a good person you are. And don't forget how lucky you are. You could see really good out of one eye, and Mommy, she can't see good out of either. And I said, and remember, there are some people who can't see at all. Garrison thought for a second, and he looked up, and I knew he got it. He said, Mom, you're right. It's like this little boy in my school. He's in a wheelchair. And see, that's not his fault. And he just wants to be liked just like I do. And I said, Garrison, that's right. And you have to remember that when you see someone who looks different than you are, that you never treat them the way that you've been treated today. And remember, we all are different. Some differences you can see, and some you can't. So that served Garrison really well. He does approach his condition with others with education and understanding. And sometimes that's not good enough for folks, and he just walks away. They just don't want to understand. So let's talk a little bit about baseball. Garrison also, like you've seen the video, he hits. One day when we were at a family home, one of our good family friends thought it would be a really good idea to teach Garrison how to pitch. And I was mad. Because why would you teach a young boy who's blind in his left eye how to pitch? You have to protect. As parents, our job was to protect Garrison, to protect him against, people and their biases, and to protect his good eye. And then one day, Sean and Garrison brought home what you see there. You see this. Garrison started pitching at about 8 years old. And at that same time in school, the elementary school school nurse called me. And she said, Miss Armstrong? And I said, yes. She said, I wanted to talk about Garrison's medical records. He's blind in one eye. And I said, well, yes, he is. And she said, well, we just can't have him playing with the other kids on the playground any longer. And I said, what? What do you mean? And she talked a lot about liability and Garrison getting hurt and all of these things. And I said, yes, but what about his self-esteem? He's already being made fun of. He already feels different. And now you're going to further ostracize this child by not allowing him to play on the playground with other kids. And then so finally, after 20 minutes of discussion, I finally said, where in your handbook, your guidelines, your policies, I'm telling you, that's right, CG has helped me out a lot. It's all calm and cool. Does it say that? Point me to that. I'm on your website. So after 20 minutes of placing me on hold, she said, Miss Armstrong, I can't point you to that. But that's just the way it is, and that's what's going to happen. And what I was about to say next, I didn't know. And it shocked me. It's not as bad as y'all think, but it shocked me. I said, oh, my husband will be up there shortly to speak with you. And guess what? I was on a landline. It was beautiful because I went click. Woo! It felt good to hang up on her. It shocked me because I don't have an issue talking to people about Garrison's condition and letting them know that their cants aren't Garrison's cant. But I'd had enough. It had been 40 minutes I'd been on the line with this woman. I didn't feel like I was going to get anywhere, and I had enough. And as I hung up that phone, I shocked myself even further. I bursted out into tears. I couldn't take it anymore. And I needed to tag someone from Team Armstrong in. But here, babe. I don't know exactly what Sean said to the school nurse and the school officials, but I'm pretty sure it went something like, and you don't want his mom up in here. Needless to say, Sean did take care of it, and Garrison got to play on the playground. And so let's go back to baseball a little bit. Let's talk about that game. I've heard some say that baseball, it's a game of failure. In fact, if you go in batting 3 for 10, so you're successful 3 times out of 10, you're destined for greatness. It's a really good thing that Garrison understands. Part of being great is learning from your failures, because he's gonna fail. You saw a lot of successes in the videos, but there are times when he does fail. He strikes out, he makes errors, turns his head. One time he swung and he turned his head and his body so far, I was sitting on first base line and I saw his face. It's pretty far to turn your head. But it was different for Garrison at times when he strikes out and he makes his errors. See, it wasn't just simply I turned my head or he just missed it. People would come up to me and say, do you think it's because of his eye? Or they would turn to me and say, and I would say, or I'd want to say, I didn't, but I wanted to. But I might as well have, because of the reaction that I got from people anyways. They were like, oh, no, he's just a kid. He's playing a game that's hard. That's it. So when he did learn how to pitch, and they brought home that mask, boy, did they show me. If Garrison has a will, Sean's going to find the way. I'm going to protect. That's what I do. So when he goes out on the mound, of course, he looks different. I have heard people refer to him as Hannibal Lecter, Bane from Batman. And then one day, when Garrison was going to take the mound, Sean and I sat in the neutral zone behind home plate. And obviously, there was another parent for the other side there as well. And he starts saying, "What's this kid doing up here with this mask on? That doesn't belong out here on this field. If he's afraid, he shouldn't be out here. And this isn't girls' softball." This man went on and on and on. And Sean and I just sat there. And then all of a sudden, the game continued, went on, and the man got quieter and quieter and quieter. Sean and I just watched Garrison pitch one of the most phenomenal games he's ever pitched. So after the game was over, Sean and I got up, and we were walking away. And Sean leaned over, and he said, "Excuse me, sir. I heard you asking questions about this young man with the mask on." I hear that he happens to be blind in one eye. And that's why he's wearing that mask. And we walked off. But I wanted to go, how about that, Jack? I did, but I fight it. I squash it, right? I squash all that in me because, you know, it was already bad enough. Look at all the things that people say, and they don't even know him, right? And then there's people who do know him and do still question, can he? Even after he hits home runs. Not every time. Probably not out of 3 out of 10 times. But he's working on it. He's working on that greatness. So it's been tough, and it's been really hard. And over the years, I stopped talking. I am the last parent onto that field right before game time. I'm the first person off that field in the truck, car, waiting for them. It just got so hard. And I was tired and afraid of people keep labeling him. And I just got to the point where I just stopped talking. And as I stopped talking, Garrison began to find his voice. And he started telling his story. Now, there is some folks I share with. Some of you are in this room today. And I know I make your ears hurt because you're my only outlet. But, so in fact, Garrison shared his story over the summer when he was at a tournament. He was interviewed by a website blogger, and they posted this interview. It was really great to see Garrison's voice in print. And I sent that link to a couple of my close friends. And one of those close friends is Miss Terry Govan. We all know Terry. And Terry was with another mother when she clicked on the link. And both mothers have sons a little bit older than Garrison, and both are reading the link. Both mothers begin to cry. Terry's crying because she's so proud of Garrison and because Terry cries. But Terry's friend is crying not for my son, but for her son. Her son recently was hurt and is going through his own challenges, and he himself are hearing all the couldn't, wouldn't, and shouldn'ts, and that he can't. And the friend asked if she could have the link and send to her son in hopes of inspiring him and starting a dialogue between the two of them. And I said, of course. Of course. And then I thought to myself, wow, how impactful is that? I know I stopped sharing the challenges and the struggles, but I also stopped sharing his successes. And maybe it was I who was turning the blind eye to a story that could help others. So that's why I'm up here today, to share my story with all of you, and because of Terry. She made me do it. She pushed me to do it. So I appreciate you, Terry. Thank you so much. Before I leave you today, I'd like to share a thought with you. But as I do, I'd like you all once more to close, this time, both your eyes. Listen to the mussn'ts, child. Listen to the don'ts. Listen to the shouldn'ts, the impossible, the won'ts. Listen to the never haves. Then listen close to me. Anything can happen, child. Anything can be. Please open your eyes. So I'd like to introduce you all to the MVP of Team Armstrong, Garrison Armstrong. I love you. So my wish for all of you is the same wish I have for you, G. Just believe anything can.